Hi guys, Spartan765 here today. Sorry I had to adjust the camera there a little bit. Today I'm doing a review on a gun that I've talked about for the past several videos, and that is the Bushmaster ACR right here. Alright, now this particular Bushmaster is a ACR enhanced, and the only difference between the ACR enhanced and the standard ACR is the enhanced simply comes with this Picatinny tri-rail that's got the quick detach sling mount points right there on the tri-rail. As you can see, the tri-rail comes off very easily. Another nice thing about the ACR right off the bat is the fact that the barrel is just devastatingly easy to remove, just like that, which is very nice. This gun is devastatingly user-friendly as far as the takedown goes. Really nothing too devastatingly complicated there. As you saw, I just took the tri-rail off. That was pretty simple. This is a short-stroke gas system, for those of you who are not familiar. The rifle does function very well. Originally, I had purchased one of these 7 months ago and had to send it back to Bushmaster for replacement or repair because the flash suppressor up here. Oh, by the way, the enhanced also comes with an ACC blackout flash suppressor, which is quick detach suppressor ready, which is nice because I'm going to be getting a suppressor for this here soon too. But I sent this in the first time because the suppressor itself was over-torqued and it stretched the barrel a little bit, and there was actually a ring you could see right inside the barrel, which was an issue. So I sent it in, and 7 months later, I finally got it back. I was told the reason it took so long, well, I didn't get it back, they sent me an entire new rifle, because apparently my rifle that I had originally was somehow from 2010, that I had just bought about 8 months ago, and apparently there was a recall on that for something I don't even know. So they had to send me a new one. But it took them 7 months to do it, which really pissed me off. But I was told that they were switching factories or something, or relocating everything to Alabama because of some freedom group thing. That's who owns Bushmaster. So I guess it is what it is. I'm not going to hold it against them too much for the long time. I mean, if they are in the middle of transitioning locations, that can be expected. Other than that, there wasn't any issues with the gun. I did get the gun back, or a new gun, and the only thing I saw, and it's not really an issue at all, is the op rod itself, or the gas piston, is actually here, and I'll show you. These do take apart, like I said, devastatingly simple. You just dump the piston out right here. This is the op rod. This is the op rod return spring, which also acts as a bottoming spring. So when this is fully compressed, it stops the piston from going back any further. It's one of the things that makes it a short stroke system. One thing I did notice about the new op rod, and this is probably the same way on the original op rod, I just didn't look at it. The op rod is, when you get to about right here, is slightly just warped or bent, I would say. Not bent, because these are heat treated. So warped, I would say. Just about a millimeter, not even, maybe about a half a millimeter. And that is really, that isn't any big issue. You're going to see that, you'll see that on a lot of gun parts, and not just with this gun, but with other guns that have longer op rods, long, thin op rods like this, is that when they go through the heat treating process, they can slightly warp, and that doesn't affect it at all. The rod just slides perfectly freely in there, no issues whatsoever. And I'm not flipping about that because I've seen that on other guns before. So that's nothing big there. It works perfectly freely. That's a non-issue. So if you do have an ACR in your op rod, it seems to be warped about a half a millimeter, as long as it slides freely in there, because you have two guides. You have a take this off here. All right. You have two guides in here. If you can see, this here is your op rod guide. This is adjustable. You can, move that to position it perfectly, but it should come good from the factory. Then where your, this is a DI gun, on an AR where you'd have the gas tube come in, that's where the op rod would come in. I'm not saying this is close to an AR because the only thing that's close to an AR with this is the bolt itself. The bolt is very similar to an AR, obviously minus the gas rings. But yeah, the op rod goes through two smaller openings. I mean, obviously they have a little bit of tolerance. I mean, because this is a combat weapon. This has to be able to be designed to be used in adverse environments. So there's a little bit of tolerance there, which is nice. You know, so mine just drops in very freely, doesn't rub at all, for the most part, which is good. As far as the actual rifle takedown, normally I don't do takedown videos in a review, but I'm just going to go ahead. And this is not an official takedown video. This is not supposed to be, how do you say, very descriptive. I'm just going to show you guys in general here how easy it is to pop this thing apart. You pop this top pin out here, and then it flips down just like a regular AR would. And you just simply pull the bolt carrier group out. As you can see, it's an entirely self-contained unit. I mean, it comes apart very simply, but when it comes out of the gun, it's a self-contained unit. Just pretty much like the AR is. Alright. Then to take the lower off, simply pop this pin out here and away she comes. Alright. And then I showed you again already with the barrel. You just push down and rotate the barrel right off. Very lightweight system. The upper receiver is aluminum with steel inserts. That's one thing that I've read that some people are hesitant about buying this because of the upper. It's like, well, you know what, the upper on an AR is aluminum. The upper, and this is aluminum, but it has steel insert guide rails for the bolt here, which is nice. Alright, I'm going to set that aside. And then you've got your actual stock itself folding. I should actually go over that a little bit more in the review. And what you do to take this out is you just simply pop the pin out, slide it out like that, so you can replace this with a fixed stock if you want, which is a nice option. One thing right off the bat I'm going to say about these this ACR is right in here you have a little compartment in the stock to put whatever you want in there, but it seems to be able to fit, I believe, about three or four CR123 batteries. I can't remember off the top of my head how many. Then also in the pistol grip, you pull this down, 2 CR123 batteries. Both of these are watertight compartments. So obviously, you know, if you're a flashlight, your EOTech, you know, whatever you have. Then the trigger group is an entire self-contained unit. Now, I'm going to go over this in a different video, how to take it out completely. But pretty much what you do here is you lift up on, okay, here. It's kind of hard to show without having a bench, but you lift up on this here, this little tab right here. Then you rotate the selector all the way back, and then it comes apart in 2 pieces. And then the trigger assembly just lifts right out. And I'll go over that in a little bit more detailed review later. Just not going to do it here because with me trying to fumble, trying to hold stuff when I'm not having a table is shitty camera work. Not that my camera work's anything good to begin with, but you know. Alright. Then I'm just going to throw this back together here quick. I know the bolt's not in, I'm just putting it on. The upper and the lower makes the receivers go together a little bit easier. And I'm not going to go over how to take the bolt apart, but it's pretty simple. All you do here is you see, right, there's a cross piece right there. That's where the spring connect. God, I'm just going to set this thing down so I can show you because it's too hard to describe. Alright, spring here pushes out. Okay, see that piece? You're going to turn this so it's like about like that, where it fits right in the groove there. Comes out. Now this takes down just like an AR-15 bolt, essentially. This pin right here pops out, and you don't need any tools to take this down. You can actually use the tip of the gas piston to push this pin out here, and it's fitted with a rubber grommet, so it comes out really easy. And then as far as the bolt goes, same process as an AR bolt. Just pull this firing pin guide bolt lock piece out right here, and then I brain farted the actual term, so I'm just making up a term there. And then it comes apart just like an AR-15 bolt for the most part. But yeah, throw that back together. And I will throw this back in the rifle and then continue the review. Sorry, that just kind of split off into something that was more of a horrible field strip video, because normally when I do these field strip videos, I like to have the camera positioned where I can work at it on a table, make it a little bit better to see for you guys. And this gun just literally, like I said though, it just literally pops apart. I mean, it's just like a scar as far as the takedown goes. I mean, as far as the simplicity of the takedown goes. Alright, like I said, this is a short stroke rifle. You have a reversible charging handle. You can put it on either this side, which is what it comes in on the left side, which I like it on. There's a little hole right in the top here. You push that down, you pull this out and put it on the right side if you want. Alright, other features. You got an ambi safety, or not, ambi safety right here on each side. Ambi bolt release, which is nice. It's very easy to get at. Just like if you have a bad lever on your AR-15, which should be up here. A bad lever, the bolt something device, bolt assist device or something like that. It's pretty much a little lever that clips onto the side here. I'm not going to go into that right now. This is an ACR video. Push this down, drops the bolt. Ambi mag release, of course. Like I said, folding stock. The gun will shoot with the stock folded, but the gun is not designed to be, fired. Most guns with folding stocks are designed just to be carried or transported, but it can be fired. The safety can be manipulated. The magazine release on the left side can be manipulated. So can the bolt release. It can be fired with the stock folded, but I don't generally think there's no point in firing with the stock folded. You've got a 7-position adjustable stock, which is nice. I usually like to keep mine in the 3rd position. You've got an adjustable cheek weld, 2-position cheek weld right there. So if you get an optic on there, like an aim point or an egg hog, this guy is going to get a 3.5 power egg hog on it, tritium reticle and fiber optic. About $1,500 bucks. Probably going to be buying that here in the next month or so. It just comes with these just bogus, crappy little, I don't know, some people like these, I hate these plastic emboss sights. I'm a big fan of Magpul. I love Magpul's products. It's just their baseline plastic emboss sights suck ass. If you want to watch my review on the emboss sights, look that up. I'm just not a fan of them. These are going to get replaced by Troy backup sights, egg hog on here, and a grip pod down here, and then probably some type of an optic or a flashlight or something like that on the side. Okay. Only faults I'd give about this gun, and I'm not going to say, one of the faults was that the flash suppressor was over-torqued the first time, whatever. Okay, that's not, every gun isn't like that. Faults on this gun. Okay, when you have the rail on here, because it's a quick detach rail, you do get about 1/4 of a millimeter of play there. Very, very minimal. Nothing you'll really ever notice, but it is there. Then again, on most free float AR rails, you may have that same play movement too. Every once in a while you get an AR rail that literally is just rock solid tight, but for the most part, you might have a very, very, very tiny amount of play. There's a very, very tiny amount of play on this that can easily be fixed by shimming it. Or if you want that rock solid, it is rock solid, but it just has a little bit of play. Not the end of the world. These tabs here is where it slides into the receiver up here. Naturally, that's not going to be, kissing tight. But you'll notice up here, there's also 2 threaded holes. This is for another rail system that can go up here. I think it's the M-lock that they make for it, 2 actually bolts in here. Now, I personally don't see a reason why you couldn't just drill and tap right here, or not, you don't need to tap, just drill out and countersink a hole a little bit, and then get a couple more of these screws, and just screw the damn thing to the receiver, upper receiver. But the only downside of that, obviously, I'm not going to be doing that because I'm perfectly happy with the way it is. It doesn't bother me much. The downside of that is you wouldn't be able to just take it apart without using a tool. The whole point of this gun is to be completely disassembled without using any tools. And they really got that on the hammer there. Back up to the gas selector. The gas valve up top has two markings, U for unsuppressed and S for suppressed. Now the U for unsuppressed completely blocks the this whole front up area up here, right in front of the gas port. So all the gas directs right back on the piston and vents out once the piston gets down to its bottom stroke. As with a suppressor, you know the higher pressure, so you're going to be switching it to suppressed, and it's going to vent out. You'll see in the front here this little hole. It'll vent some of that gas out of the hole right there. So you're not putting too much stress in your gun. Like I said, very lightweight, very ergonomic. They have the quick detach button style sling releases on the front part of the rail. You got one on the back part of the stock here, and you also got a quick detach, or not a quick detach, but just a clip single point sling mount as well. Oh, and you also have two quick detach right here and right here. So all in total, you've got yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quick detach button style sling releases and a single just clip on single point sling release right there. The lower receivers for these things are made by Magpul. Obviously. So they're nice. They do have the Magpul logo on them. So is the stock. The rest of the gun is made by Bushmaster or Freedom Group. Bushmaster makes the civilian version. Remington makes the military version. But yeah, there it is. Oh, and like I said, when it ships, it comes with a hard case, these shitty ass Embus sights, and a P-Mag. There you go. Oh, and by the way, no, I did not check to see if the gun was unloaded because I'm not a safety Nazi. Because I do know that all the guns in my gun safe are unloaded. There you go. So that'll avoid those stupid, irritating comments that people like to post. But anyway, if you guys got any comments or questions, feel free to send me a message. Spartan765 out.